If you loved Opendoor, the real estate technology company that just exploded, there's one stock that could be next. It is a real estate technology company. It's not OPAD, Offerpad. It's not open, OPEN, Opendoor. Let's jump into the chart. Let's talk about why this ticker is poised to explode technically, besides it just being a sympathy of Opendoor, which had a lot of interest and has some big name investors, including Keith Raboy as the, I believe, CEO. Let's take a look at AIRE. I'll tell you the ticker right now. And let's make sure there's a spot to get in with tiny risk and big upside, which is what we're all about on stockscommunity.com. Here we go. This is the chart, okay? Definitely a lot of interest from 25 cents to over $1, okay? A quadruple. This is a penny stock, okay? It's a $1 stock. We say anything under $5 is a penny stock, roughly, okay? And look, is this speculative? Yeah. I mean, this move was insane back in basically New Year's Eve, okay? Since then, this is what we're looking at. And the volume is low, but you already knew it was going to be low. It is a $1 stock. But you have to keep in mind, look, it only trades, this is what, $200 million a day in the last 10 days. So for the 1% of you watching it, you're not really the 1%, you're really like the 0.1% of people who would be watching this. If that makes sense. I'm talking about people with a net worth of 20 million or more. You can't really put your whole net worth in this stock, okay? Because you're going to move the stock, okay? Now, for everyone else, okay, that was the 2 seconds for those people, because we do cater to those people. This channel is about stocks where you can put 10 million or more in the stock and not move the stock and get it out the next day. That's an important caveat, okay, to those people. And we do cater to those people, okay? Because we love helping people who already are doing well, okay? But for everyone else, we want to help you too. And that's why we have a community that costs $7 to join for, sorry, it's pretty expensive. It's not $7. It's $25 to join for 7 days. You can check that out at stockscommunity.com. But no more pitches. This is the volume. It is tailing off slightly. It held on, this is would be Monday. This chart is a little takes adjusting, okay? This is Sunday futures right here, okay, which are important. If you check your broker at 6 p.m. futures open, that will affect how stocks are trading, particularly with overnight trading. As you can see, Tesla started going up at 6:01 p.m. on Sunday. Do you need that level of granularity? No, I'm just telling you that will impact your positions, okay? Particularly if they are large. You do care about what happened on Sunday night. But this is the chart. This is the level, okay? Going back to all the way in June of last year. And then this is November of last year. This is $1. The whole dollar level is pretty important. We are above that right now, but you can risk that level and then look for another move like what happened in late December of 2024. I don't know exactly if you can expect that um, to happen again. I mean, this was crazy. This was on December 27th. There was some volume leading up to that as well on the 19th. And what happened on the 19th was they announced that they were going to give 25% of their excess cash to buying crypto. Okay. And this was an important time. I'll get to what's going to happen in the next week, which is what we all care about, but we do have to understand what this company can do, okay, in order to understand what it's going to do. So I'm looking at IBIT. This tracks Bitcoin. This is the Bitcoin ETF. And if we look at the 19th, we can see Bitcoin had just broken out from, trying to remember what exactly this level was. I think this was like the 120s, so maybe this was like 80. Sorry, my Bitcoin knowledge is not as good as my stock knowledge. Okay, this was 60, but yeah, this is the one. Actually, this was the 108 breakout rather than the 120, 118. Don't slight me for my Bitcoin knowledge. I do buy Bitcoin. You see, I buy it right here, but right now, in this case, we're trying to understand how this is affecting stocks in the NASDAQ. Sorry for touching the microphone. Which it does. It didn't used to, but in the last few years, Bitcoin has been making stocks move based on how it moves. So we do have to care about that. So Bitcoin had just gone up, all this to say, back in late December 2024. And then ReAlpha, AIRE, this Opendoor competitor, had a massive move. Well, I mean, you can barely see how massive this was, but it actually was pretty significant. This is almost 30% in one day, going from $1.10 to $1.50. I know this is pretty low volume. Okay, it's only traded like $1 million back at that point, but it is a good indicator of what's going to happen again. On that particular day, there was a huge move, and it wasn't necessarily news driven, okay? And that's probably no surprise. I'm talking about a penny stock year. Literally, it was, under $1 stock down here, handfuls of pennies. And the announcement from the company was they were pivoting from short-term rentals to AI-powered mortgage real estate. Okay. AI gets a lot of excitement. It's basically move to crypto was probably the spark. Okay. But on this particular day, even though they had a 20 million plus net loss, there was euphoria. Okay. And if we look at Opendoor, trust me, I'll move on to what's going to happen in the next 7 days very soon. But if we look at Opendoor, it didn't even move on that last week of December last year. If we look at Offerpad, these are the 3 real estate technology companies. Okay, you want to look at sympathy companies to understand what's going to happen. Didn't move either. So now they both are moving. So imagine how much explosion opportunity there could be for this company, which is already shown to have insane moves. Is this one difficult to catch? Yeah, I mean, you got to look at your phone the next day and sell it before it goes back down 50%, and then over the next couple weeks goes down more. Do people look at their phones once a day? Yeah. I think almost everyone would say, that's fine. I can take a look at my phone tonight. Something to look forward to. So that's the play. That's why this could be so explosive. The fundamentals of the company are honestly not that important. because it's a $1 stock, right? For people that do still like to know what they're buying, even when it costs $1, this is basically what this company does. Okay? They do have a connection to Opendoor, a connection to Offerpad, and they are basically trying to get rid of real estate agents. Okay? There have been thousands of startups trying to do that. This one is now publicly traded. Okay, they made it pretty far. They could make it farther. We're trading the volatility though in the next week, and they did report this insane 2,000% year-over-year revenue growth. Okay, which investors love. But of course, they are still a VC company operating at a net loss. Okay, and that net loss actually increased compared to the same period last year. So this is not a company you want to throw your life savings into and walk away for a year, and definitely not even a month. But if you're interested in moves like this, 250% in a week and potentially more, I think this is about as good as an opportunity as I can possibly bring to you at this particular moment. And I don't think you have to get all Wall Street analyst about the EBITDA numbers, okay? Because this is a publicly traded startup. That's what we're doing, reading headlines that are eye-catching and trying to look at the chart to figure out how you can get in, risk 20 cents, and make $1 or more. All right? It's a speculative idea. Occasionally, it's important to bring those to you. If you like to talk about longer term ideas, if you want to talk about your portfolio, you want to talk about how I find this information, how I use indicators to invest in a relatively medium term manner, a week to a few weeks to a few months, occasionally over a year, go to stockscommunity.com. It's $25 to join for 7 days. You can ask all the questions you want. You can ask other people in the community as this community grows what they're up to. It's kind of like a hive mind for stocks. If you haven't subscribed yet, hit that subscribe button, and I will see you in the next one.